What's good, Detroit Sports Nation? I am Eric Vincent, your host here at the DSN News Desk, back again to chop it up with you, the best fan base in the world. I appreciate your time and support. A big story just popped up here on our desk, the NFL world, something we've been waiting to brew and develop for quite some time, and it's finally here. Well, somewhat here. Let's take this layer by layer. Deshaun Watson is finally facing a timeline for his suspension of the NFL. Has not been approved and laid down by the NFL. Again, it's a lot of layers to this, so we'll take everything step by step. Former U.S. District Judge Sue L. Robinson, who has been made the lead of this case in disciplining Deshaun Watson, has suggested a 6-game ban for the Cleveland Brown quarterback from the NFL this upcoming season. This has been, again, a story that's been developing for a while. We've heard that 24 women have alleged against Deshaun Watson. This has gone back since 2020. So it's about 2 years worth of data going into this. And it's a lot to unpack. So, again, we're going to do the best we can to try to unpack what we can. So, again, 6 games have been announced. There's no additional fine that's set. Robinson has also set that Deshaun cannot have any massages completed or performed by anybody that's not approved or facilitated by the franchise. So he can't do what he's been doing. He can't reach out through Instagram and just, search for, local women or whoever else to get him. It has to be approved by the Cleveland Browns and maybe even by the league. I'm not certain yet. It looks like some details are still being confirmed as of right now. He also can't have any major involvement with law enforcement after this while this is going on as well. So a lot of close eyes being laid on Deshaun Watson. And again, I want to make sure this is very important because this is tied into a lot of things we've talked about. These stories are bigger than sports. These stories are bigger than sports. So we need to start in the appropriate place. I hope all the alleged victims and all the women who have come forth, I really hope that they've been heard. I really hope that they've truly been given their time. I really hope they've been given a voice and the respect they deserve to let this story come out and be told the way it should be. So, again, I really hope that's the way it's played out. And I really hope that they find their their respect, their peace, and their justice as well to help bring some closure to the situation. But to kind of relate back to the sports aspect, this is just a messy situation. This is just a nasty, messy situation that, honestly, again, this is a situation where nobody looks good. Like, I can't sit here and say that Deshaun Watson looks 100% innocent in this, even though he's maintained his innocence. Every time he spoke publicly, he said, I have not done anything that has been alleged against me. I'm an innocent man, and that's his stance. But I can't sit here and say he's 100% right. I can't sit here and say he's 100% wrong. It's a very, very murky situation. But to me, this is what the NFL has set forward. Because for the longest time, what we've seen with domestic violence suits, with the Calvin Ridley situation, with even Tom Brady's suspension, the NFL has just dropped the ball relentlessly on getting these kind of suspensions right. And maybe this is why they put this out of their heads. Maybe this is why they brought in a U.S. former judge to take care of this, because the NFL, again, they're not setting down the suspension itself, but they do have 3 days. The NFL and the NFLPA have 3 days to appeal the suspension. Now, we haven't heard whether they will or will not, so only time will play out. We'll see what happens when it develops this week, but it's only going to get messier from here. I mean, I remember a report saying that Deshaun plans to sue the league if he's suspended at all. So this could be quite a battle if he does end up taking it. But also remember, Deshaun Watson did settle with the 24 women, I believe, that brought these cases on him. So he could keep the solidification that he would at least be able to play next season, not this coming season. But again, it's a lot to kind of divulge into this because the NFL has not been good with these situations. They've undersold and underruled on these situations notoriously in the past, whether it was Ray Rice and his domestic suit where fans were cheering him during training camp and the NFL gave him a slap on the wrist until that elevator video came out. Then they decided to want to do something. They took away Josh Gordon's career for smoking weed repeatedly, took his career away because he got caught smoking weed, and that's the stuff they wanted to prioritize in the NFL. Tom Brady, same exact thing. But again, it's just a questionable decision. You give Brady, 4 or 6 games, I believe? It wasn't more than half of a season. So that was for deflating balls. And now you're sitting up here possibly going to suspend Deshaun Watson for roughly the same amount of games as a guy who deflated footballs to the lower amount possible, to the legal level, allegedly. It just doesn't sound right, man. And then the most recent instance, we just hit on Calvin Ridley earlier. Calvin Ridley was suspended for an entire season for betting on a football game that he didn't even play in. Now, again, I understand. I understand wanting to keep the integrity of the game intact. Having players bet on games does not look good, even whether they're not involved or not. It doesn't look good because it questions the integrity of the game. But when you follow it up and allow a man, not even allow, because again, nothing has been ruled unofficial yet, but sitting here possibly letting a man, a quarterback, be suspended for only 6 games when 24 women have come up and said his name in suits that are dirty and mischievous on his part. It just doesn't sound right, man. None of this is adding up with the NFL. It seems like they set themselves up for this. They're in a lose-lose situation based on how they handle these situations. Nobody else. Again, I don't like how Deshaun has been. I don't think it's responsible to be DMing women for personal, professional massages when you have staff in place, when you have professionals in place to get these things done. And you decided to take a loose, irresponsible route that sets you up in these kind of situations. But again, it's a lot of layers to that. I also don't like the way it was handled in terms of the Houston Texans. They didn't bring this forward until Deshaun requested a trade request 2 years ago. That looked weird and murky in itself. And it kind of looks weird with the Cleveland Browns. The Browns don't look good in this situation. You gave this man a guaranteed $230 million, knowing all this was coming down the pipeline, knowing a suspension hadn't been set yet, knowing that you had all these unconfirmed details still in place with this player. I don't understand it, man. It's hard. It's hard for me to sit here and put a definitive stamp on what Deshaun should get or what he should be in. To me, again, the NFL has put themselves in a lose-lose situation because of how they handle situations like this all the time. They never get it right. Roger Goodell is always over-penalizing those who don't deserve it and under-penalizing those who need it. Like, I don't really know what to say in this situation. Again, this is bigger than sports. It's bigger than football to me. The most important thing I care about are the women getting the respect, the justice that they deserve. If he's guilty for this, he needs to be found guilty. Especially for 24 women, man. Like we saw Ray Rice, get his career taken away for assaulting his wife. 24 women. I have a hard time believing 24 women are going to lie, man. I just have a hard time believing that. But again, more details are going to come about. Again, we've seen more women come forth coming at Deshaun, so we don't really know how this is going to play out. Again, the most important part to me is hoping that the women get the justice and the respect that they deserve. But please, talk to me down below. Let me know what you think. You think Deshaun should deserve more time? Do you think the NFL is dropping the ball? Do you think that this is more murky than we're being led on to be? Let me know. Talk to me down below. Tell me how you think this should play out for Deshaun Watson. Again, 6 games is on the timetable right now. Only time will really tell how this is going to be decided. Thank you again for all your time and your support here at the DSN News Desk. I'm so appreciative of it all. Again, I'll be here next time to chop it back up with you. I am Eric Vincent. Till next time. Peace.